now, chairman of the House Homeland Security Committees, Congressman Mark Green. Congressman, you know, what they're saying that, you know, that do they really think we're that stupid that Iran is only going to use the $6 billion for humanitarian purposes? Iran is a leading sponsor of terror. Remember Obama White House is all about the snapback clause, that they're going to grab the money back? You know what I mean? So they're incentivizing future hostage-taking, and Iran reportedly is actively already harboring the leader of al-Qaeda. When you heard all this, what was your reaction?
Well, it was like a gut punch, Liz. And first, thanks for having me on your show. And the real gut punch was they did this on 9/11. I remember when Joe Biden was vice president, they pulled the missiles out of Poland on the 60th anniversary of the invasion of Poland. I mean, these guys can't get anything right. And to think that the Iranians aren't going to spend this on support for Ukraine's enemies, I mean, it's like we're throwing money away. It's absurd. It is absolutely absurd.
You know, Congressman, watchdog groups already warned Iran has the resources and know-how to produce enough weapons-grade uranium for 6 nuclear weapons in a month and maybe 10 in 4 months. I mean, so when you see all this going on with this White House, it makes people rattled. It makes them feel less safe under this administration.
Well, they certainly should. The problem with this administration is they don't know the good guy from the bad guy, right? I mean, they're aiding and abetting Mexican cartels in human trafficking and trafficking of fentanyl into our country. They want to do this deal with Iran. They left billions of dollars in the hands of military equipment in the hands of the Taliban terrorists. They push our allies away. I mean, they don't know a good guy from a bad guy. I mean, even domestically, they're streeting violent criminals, and yet they want to take guns from law-abiding citizens. They don't know a good person from a bad person, and it's a tragedy across the world. And the world is laughing at us, not just the performance in Vietnam, but, I mean, this and all this other stuff that I mentioned with other stuff, too.
And, Congressman, let's listen to what you pointed out earlier. President Biden, the first sitting president not to visit the 9/11 memorial sites on the anniversary of the terror attacks. On top of that, in his speech in Alaska, he claimed he was at Ground Zero the day after 9/11. He was not. In his own memoir, he said he wasn't there. He was in the Senate. Let's watch what happened. Watch this.
Governor and I have something in common. We're both from Scranton, Pennsylvania. I wish I had him playing in my high school ball club that I was playing, but I could have been an All-American. Each of us, each of those precious lives stolen too soon when evil attacked. Ground Zero in New York, and I remember standing there the next day and looking at the building. I felt like I was looking through the gates of hell. It looked so devastating because from where you could stand.
Okay, that's another lie. Show Senator Joe Biden giving a speech from the Senate floor the day after 9/11. He was in the Senate. And it looks like he plagiarized the Gates of Hell line from Hillary Clinton, who actually was there on September 12, 2001. He was there September 20th. Your final word.
Honestly, I think what's going on with this president is elder abuse. I mean, he has some significant, difficulties forming sentences sometimes. And it is a tragedy. What's going on, and these continual comments that aren't true, I don't even know where they're coming from. It's not like it's some distant memory that's bubbling out. As a physician, he needs a cognitive test. We need to know.
Well, show the Hill media reporter there. The White House is really lashing out at anyone at the media's, quote, fixation on President Biden's age and his stamina. They're not liking that. They're going to go on offense right now on this. And they're saying inside the White House that this is one of his biggest vulnerabilities in his reelection. So they're going to go on offense about this. Can they pull it off?
I don't think so. If you look at what happened in Vietnam this weekend, I mean, that was an embarrassment to our country on a global stage. World leaders smirked who were in and around that, and they're laughing at us now. The weakness that was displayed the following day on September 11th with the Iran deal, the $6 billion, is just more proof. And it's just, I mean, it's sad, honestly.
Chairman
I grieve
Green,
for our country.
Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for your service.
Thank you.